Okay, so this is just a little video that I wanted to put together for some friends at work to kind of show a little bit of an introduction on how to start playing Kerbal Space Program, so you can learn how to, how you learn everything kind of goes together. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the game, and we're going to go ahead and play it a little bit. Hopefully everything works. So one thing, when you start the game, you have all these settings and things that you can do to adjust the game to being your as customizable as possible. But to start a full game, you just hit Start Game. And what I would recommend you doing is the training and scenarios. The training will tell you it'll teach you about construction basics, how to build a rocket, flight basics, how you control your rocket with the keyboard, science basics, collecting science, how orbits work, how to get to the moon, the most basic level, which is actually pretty hard but pretty crazy. Also landing on the moon. And then it's got some others that are pretty complex, but I wouldn't worry about those ones yet. And then it does have some scenarios you can practice on. I would say the ones you should maybe work on and practice on are the EVA for sure. And that's probably the only one, because they'll teach you how to move around. Oops, I think I went into one. Which one is this? Oh, this is one I'm about to impact the moon. We don't want that to happen. So what we're going to go back, start again. So in order to start to play the game, once you've gone through the training scenarios, what you want to do is you'll want to start a new game. You can, and then what I'll do is I will make this game into a tutorial video. So I'll say tutorial career. Blah, I can't spell today. So first you can take a look here. You've got Sandbox. Sandbox, where you have everything available, infinite money, everything is all good. It's fun for getting used to stuff, especially if you just want to play around. But it's not so. It's kind of boring to me. It doesn't really have an objective. It's just it's just for fun. Then you have the Science mode, where you can go around and gather science, but you don't have to worry about money or anything, or your reputation, which is good. Career is where everything's added together. You have to manage all aspects of your space program. You have to collect money by doing contracts. You have to, by completing them, you also get a good reputation, which gives you a chance at better contracts. And you also collect science, which helps further the advances that you get in the tech tree. So if you're first starting, I would also go ahead here and click a flag that you might want. If you see one that's more interesting, I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the default one for now, but you can put any of these flags in here you'd like. And then also for the difficulty options, if you're first starting out, I would go ahead and do easy, because this will give you a little extra money to start with. It'll give you extra rewards for science, and it'll help you get along with the game, because it does get a little tricky at very beginning. So you get through normal, moderate, hard. I've tried it in hard. It is hard, but it's fun. This will allow you to have a bunch of fun stuff as well. So go ahead and click that, accept, and then start. This will start you off on the very beginning of your space program. So what I'll do now is I'm going to explain a couple of what the buildings do, what every single one of these things is about, and then we'll go from there. I think that's where we'll end this video, and I will talk about next time about how to start playing the game. So what you do here is you have Gene Kerman. Gene's really good. He's going to help you manage your contracts and make sure that you're getting enough money to fully sustain your space program. So he says, "Nice to meet you. I'm Gene Kerman, the flight director, and your a guide for this quick introduction. This is the Space Center. From here you'll manage all aspects of the space program. Feel free to have a look around. Hold the right mouse button and move the camera, or use the arrow keys. Right click on the Space Center facilities to view more about them, and left click when you're ready to head inside. To see more information, check out the training section and the main menu. So make sure you finish training before you come here." Anyway, this is your Space Center. It looks a little tacky because, well, it's just getting started. You're beginning the Space Center, and what you're doing is you're going to build it from the ground up. You're going to help these Kerbals who have had dreams of going into space and achieving things. and building their space center, and you're going to help them go ahead and do that. So first, we're going to go ahead and start with the most important aspect of the space center, which is your vehicle assembly building. This is where all spacecrafts are designed and built before moving over to the launch pad for flight. You can see here that there's this long ramp that leads out from the vehicle assembly building out to the launch pad. So when you'll build your spaceships in here, or rockets, or whatever you're doing, and then they will, when you're ready to launch, they will pull them out here so you can launch them. Now, everything here is at its most basic step, so you can't really do everything with it. However, you do need to be aware that as you collect more money, you can upgrade things, and they let you do more stuff. For example, a level 1 vehicle assembly building will only let you build a spaceship that has 30 or less parts. So it's not very much, but if I have money, 105,000 funds, you're able to upgrade that so that it can now support 255 parts. Next, you have your launch pad. It can only, at the very beginning, withstand a certain weight and launch and vehicle size, so you need to be careful that your things are designed within that. Upgrade for this is relatively cheap, and that will let it weigh almost 10 times as much and be much bigger. So you definitely want to upgrade that soon, if not at first, but pretty soon after. How do you make money to do these things? Well, you can head over here. This is your mission control. This is where all the available contracts can be managed. This is where Gene hangs out. It also offers a nice view of the launch sites for anyone who's brave enough to be close to a launching craft. It's really cheap to upgrade. I wouldn't worry about upgrading it so quickly, but definitely put it on the thing. In fact, we're going to go ahead and check out the mission control right now. So Gene's here. He says, "Welcome. Please make a selection." It's got 4 starting contracts for you to do. Now, when your mission control isn't fully upgraded, you can only have 2 active at a time. So this is what you do. You click on one of these contracts, and it will say, here it'll say, basically, we want you to do something, and if you do it, we'll give you money. So they say, if you accept this contract, they'll give you some money just off the start, just to get started. This one says they'll give us 3,600 funds. If we successfully complete it, they will give us an additional 9,100 funds, which is really good to help get started. However, if we do fail this mission, they will take 4,000 funds back. So we need to make sure that we don't fail this mission. However, like if you fail it once or twice, that's fine. But if you don't meet it within its expiration date, then you won't make it. This one never expires, so you can always take these and never worry about losing them unless you cancel it in the future. You will lose the advance that you paid on it. So we're going to go ahead and accept this one. And then this next contract says set an altitude record of 5,000 meters. This one they'll give us $900 up front, and if we complete it, they'll give us $4,500. They always have this little blurb about it, which is kind of goofy. But as long as we do that, that'll help us get there. So we'll take that, and now that's our 2 contracts. We are not able to accept any others. Like this one's escape the atmosphere, which means you need to make it to 70,000 meters. Quite a bit ways up there. But if we do, they will give us 30 science, a reputation of 191, and an additional 59,000 funds. And even orbiting is almost double all of that. So those are some things that we will want to do in the future, but in the meantime, we need to get the other things taken care of. Next, we have the space plane hangar. You can build space planes that will launch on this runway. So they're really good. You won't build those pretty early on, but later on they'll become important. You have the astronaut complex. This is where you can hire different Kerbals. Now, Kerbals come in 3 different varieties: pilots, engineers, and scientists. So a pilot, they can provide assistance when flying a vessel, and as you start flying these Kerbals in these things, they will start gaining experience and doing better, and they will be able to do more things. An engineer can repair things, broken parts such as landing gear, solar panels. They're there to repair those things. They're really handy at that. And then we have scientists. Scientists can give you extra science back on your missions when you go do that. And we'll talk about that in a bit. So you can hire extra ones. When it's not upgraded, you can have a maximum of 5. Let's go ahead and hire another pilot just to be safe. And then another, we'll just hire him for now. We probably won't use him right starting out because the capsules aren't very big. We have the administration complex. This allows you to have strategies that you can look over and see if they fit your needs. We have the, this is research and development. This is the science center. Basically, as you earn science, you can come here and fill out your tech tree. We'll wait till we actually receive some science before we go there. And lastly, we have the tracking center. This is where all ongoing missions can be viewed and focused. And any landed craft that's on Kerbin, you can recover from here. So let's take a look at this. So basically Gene's saying, hey, this is where we look at our stuff, and I'll show it from here. Now, we don't have any tracked objects here because we haven't launched anything. But we get to see, here's Kerbin. Here's actually the launch pad is right here. It's a beautiful planet. It's got poles, deserts, islands, ice caps, different areas, and if you go to each one of these little areas, you'll actually be rewarded different types of funds. As we go out, we can see the moon out over here. You can actually double click to focus on it and take a look at it. Really cool. So we'll be traveling there soon. What I'd like to do is show you how to get to the moon from the very beginning in less than an hour, which isn't too hard. Kerbin also has a second moon. It's called Minmus. It's very small, has a very low gravity, but it's really fun to visit because you get to jump like crazy. But we'll focus back on Kerbin, and we're going to go ahead and end the video there. What you'll do to get your first rocket started. Actually, let's complete our first contracts just so you can see how this goes. So Werner von Kerbin's a rocket scientist. He's really smart. He's happy to help you out with a bunch of stuff. If you haven't learned in the training, you probably should go back and do the training. What you want to do is you always want to start with a command pod. You can change where that command pod is at the beginning. And also you do want to add a parachute on. There's different tabs: pods, fuel tanks, engines, command and control. We don't have any of those starting out. Structural, aerodynamic, don't have any of those yet. Utility, now a parachute is good for utility because it's not any of these other things. Then we have science. Only science instrument we have right now is an antenna. It's called the Communitron 16. We're going to throw one of these on because your spaceship does need an antenna in order to transmit any information back to the Space Center. We're also going to, for this first 2 contracts, all we need to do is launch a vessel and get to 5,000 meters. So we also want to make sure that our stage, our rocket, doesn't launch at the same time as the parachute. So we will just go ahead and do that, and we're going to launch this rocket. And we're going to call it the Contract Completa, just to make it awesome. And then you can select your crew. We do want a pilot because we want some stability. If we don't have a pilot, we have to steer the thing manually. So we're going to add Jebediah to be there. Alright. Here we go. For the very first launch ever, we're going to go ahead and do some reports. Now, you always want to be getting whatever science you can because it's going to help you fill out your tech tree a little bit more. You want to do your crew report. You can do this by right-clicking on your pods. When you do that, you'll be able to view the electric charge, the monopropellant. That's something that's not in these rockets, but you'll see it a little later on. You can toggle torque, which is the ability to control your rocket. You can rename it, and if you're in a vessel with multiple pods, you can control it from different spots. What we're going to do is a crew report because this takes a specific report at the location you're at and says you're recording a crew's assessment of the situation, and it gives you 3 science. Great way to get started. We're also going to do an EVA by clicking on the Kerbal's portrait there, and if you right-click on them when they're doing an EVA, they can do an EVA report. And technically, since I'm in the air, it counts as flying, which is nice. So it gives me another 11 science. We're going to keep that. We're also going to take the data out of the pod and then store it again. This stores it in a different place so that you can do multiple crew reports. Now we're going to go ahead and launch the rocket. First, we activate stabilization by hitting T. This will only work if you have a pilot or if you have a satellite that's capable of doing that sort of thing. From there, you're going to go ahead and hit spacebar. Spacebar will activate the engine. Are you ready, Jeb? Can't see him. He's down here. Let's see here. Oh well. He's where my face is. But Jeb is awesome. He's ready to go. 3, 2, 1, and fly. So now this is just taking us right up. This is a solid rocket booster, so I can't control the speed on it because it just burns by itself. We watch the solid fuel going down, and we hope that we get up to where we need to be. Since we're flying now, we're also going to do another crew report. It says the shores look inviting, and you watch over the waves roll in over the coast. We've just completed our contract. You can look up here in the window, and you can see each contract is complete. Launch a new vessel, complete. And set an altitude record, complete. So now we've done both of those. I'm just going to go ahead and trash them. You'll see that they've added to our funds. We've got extra money there. We've also got 10 science from that one contract. Now you can see we're going up and up and up, but we're starting to fall. So here's where we got to be careful. We can start falling back to our death, or well, what we're going to do is we're going to review this report, and since we have some electric charge, we're going to transmit that off. You can see this electric charge down here. It does take a good chunk of it, so usually you want to have batteries on hand to receive those, to add more stuff, and hopefully solar panels, because it'll add more electricity. I'm just mumbling here, but we'll learn all those things later. In the meantime, this is what you want to do to get your initial science in a career mode. You can push the period key to warp faster. It will give you a warning that your ship can be destroyed. It doesn't happen normally, but the period key will make you warp faster to make things speed up, because traveling in space is takes a long time. But you never. Also, the comma key slows you down. Slows down time. So now that we are approaching the space center, we want to slow down time. And whenever you activate your parachute, you want to make sure you're not being warped, because it'll rip your parachute off. Push spacebar once to activate the parachute. It will then go up and get ready, and you'll slowly drift back down. Hopefully we're going slow enough that our booster doesn't break off, but if it does, it's okay. It's not too bad. Alright, we're going to actually land on the crawlway. And oh, blew up. Oh well, what can you do? Did lose a little bit of funds there, but that's okay. What you can do now is you can either click on the portrait down where my mouse is and click EVA. You can also click on the crew hatch and EVA there. This will allow you to do another EVA report, store the experiment, and now that we're in a different place, whoops, the game has crashed. Game didn't like me doing that, I guess. Alright, well that's everything, I guess. What you normally do is just do a couple science reports and you're good to go. I've just had a great time. This has been fun. Let me know if you would like to know anything else. After this, what we're going to go ahead and do is we will talk about gathering enough science so that we can make a trip to the moon. So that's everything. Have a great day.